And we back. After Azula takes over Bossing Say and captures Katara, Aang comes to her rescue, and on their way back to the squad, they get blasted by a firebending attack. But Aang manages to earthbend that shit, and there appears Azula. Not even a hello, wagwan, just straight to the action on some instigator shit. Katara tries to bend the water from the cave, but blocks it with her bending, causing a smoke screen. Azula spawns again, launching 2 fire blasts. But both Aang and Katara manage to block her attack through water bending. Azula jumps on the rocks in the environment, and Aang sees this as an opportunity to shatter it with his earthbending, but manages to evade it, with all 3 of them doing a Spider-Man meme. Before we continue on this fight, at this point of the show, Zuko is contemplating changing his ways. Zuko was like, spawns into the fight and launched fire at them, fake pumping Katara. Never let them know your next move. Zuko shoots at Aang, but Aang jumps and dodges with his airbending whilst watching Aang and Zuko fight. Azula tries to catch Katara off guard by attacking her, but she blocks it. Zuko tries to shoot a barrage of fire blasts at Aang, but that gets blocked, with Aang sending, what is that? A hologram? A JoJo stand? And is bro okay here? Look at his face. Aang sends a body hologram at Zuko, sending him to the ground. Aang jumps towards him and tries to airbend his soul to the gulag, but dodges right in time. Zuko tries to attack Aang whilst on the ground, but Aang jumps and reads it, whilst Aang lands on the crystals in the cave. Zuko launches a couple fire blasts at Aang, who tries to use the crystals to defend himself from the attack, but still manages to get hit, sending him falling. Zuko launches 2 strips of flames twice, but Aang weaves. During this whole fight so far, Zuko is fighting the way the Fire Nation expected him to, doing moves he's never done before, and each attack he lands is hella powerful. Katara tries to attack with water from the puddle on the ground, with Azula barely managing to weave it, with it scraping a small amount of her hair. Back to Zuko, who's still using 2 strips of flames on Aang whilst jumping from boulder to boulder on top of the cave and using it to send Zuko flying, landing on a crystal. Katara smacks Azula and she uses her octopus technique to fight against her. Azula tries to bend fire through it, but that shit is patched against water. You gotta be smarter than that. Tries to firebend out her left foot, but access denied. Here, I was like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, and I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, this is exactly. Well, I've been waiting every time Katara's been one-on-one in Azula. She always mocks the flow of her. Y'all gonna be running to the comments now? But Katara has always got the upper hand against her when it's just them 2 scrapping. She almost could have cut her in half here. She would have ended up like Frieza. Hell, we could have gone Mecha Azula. You can't argue with that. Like I said, you lot are gonna come at me, but just accept it. I know she's always near a source of water, but still. Then out of nowhere, Zuko interrupts their fight. This fucking nigga, I just wanted to see her smack the shit out of her. Focus on the bold end. This would have been a Kratos type beating. It would have been beautiful, but nah, it's Nickelodeon that can't run. She's only lucky because she still needs to survive because of the plot. Just as I was about to say, where's Aang? He shows up on his last legs. Bro, didn't you leave him knocked to the ground? Damn. Zuko then fights Katara, with them both using strips of flames and water respectively.
I thought you had changed! I have changed.
Gotcha, bitch!
This leaves Aang to fight off Azula, with all 4 of them doing switcheroo. Azula starts spike gliding with her bending, and like I said in the last Avatar video, why is her blue and Zuko ain't? I would crash out so bad. Aang uses the nearby crystals as armor, looking like a Teemo version of Diamond Head from Ben 10, and starts charging in. Azula fake pumps him by stopping in her tracks and directing the firebending she used for gliding at Aang at the last second, catching him out and sending him flying towards the wall. Katara still fighting with Zuko. Azula interrupts by launching fire blasts, leaving her ganged up on and leaving her flying in the crystal, leaving her with the revive symbol. Someone call a reboot fan ASAP. Seeing this girl get jumped on, Aang flies up in the air and spawns, landing and gliding on the ground with his earthbending, but gets sent flying away anyway.
What the fuck?
If I got embarrassed like that in front of a crush, I would not show my face in public again. I'm going full Toby mode. Forget the Avatar shit. forget Sozin's Comet. I'll find someone else. Debbie, yeah, I thought we was going to do some crazy shit, but nah, anticlimactic. With Aang on the ground, reinforcements start arriving to fight alongside Zuko and Azula. Y'all niggas are outnumbered. What is this, a 20v1? And why is Katara doing all of that work but ain't doing shit with it? Stop trying to make yourself look busy in the workplace. She's doing a whole Zumba dance. Like, boy, if you don't drown them in the Pacific Ocean, low-key, if I were her, I would bloodbend the whole squad. The whole series would have been over. And his girl Putik. And his girl Putik's words echo, saying the only way is to let her go. Aang says f it and earthbends crystals around him to go into the avatar state. Then he starts rising up like KSI in that one Simon video. And I'm here thinking, it's GG's. It's over for you. But suddenly he gets struck down with lightning, with the camera panning back to Azula. No plot armor to bail you out today, nigga. Knocking him out of the avatar state and falling into the ground until Katara uses her bending as a giant wave to get to Aang and manages to catch him from falling into the ground and getting CTE whilst drowning their reinforcements in the process. Wait, why couldn't she do this before with that OP ass move? Just as Zuko and Azula were about to jump Katara and Aang, Arrow comes in clutch, telling her and Aang to dip as he fights them off, but he gets captured anyway.
Oh brother, this guy's stiff!
I'm playing. If you want to see Zuko switch sides and fight Azula with Katara, check out the video on the screen right now and do not forget to subscribe.